Welcome to Burning Books. I'm Caleb, and I want to help you love video games even more. And your face makes me want to love barfing even more. You're ugly. And today I'm asking, why are some online gamers so mean? I stay away from most online multiplayer games. My aversion is a symptom of my introversion. Introversions require less stimuli to be mentally satisfied, and because of this, they prefer to control as much of an experience as possible. This explains why crowds are scary and why public speaking can be especially frightening for an introvert. The dynamic nature of people in an online multiplayer game diminishes some of the player agency that I want in a game, so I stay away from most online multiplayer games. I even made a video about this idea of introverts and game genre choice, link in the description below. But why are online multiplayer game players so dynamic? More specifically, why do some players turn into angry trolls the moment other players are introduced? Are those people sniveling beasts in real life? Your mother's an angry troll, you snot-gobbling turd jockey. Wow, that was mean, Online Caleb. Now I'll grant you, though, that snot-gobbling turd jockey is fun to say, so I understand the urge to say it. I just wish it wasn't directed at me. Let's turn to player psychology to find out why online me is such a piece of shit. No, Offline Caleb, keep it together. You're better than that. You won't be able to keep it together, you suck. The word to focus on is deindividuation. Deindividuation is the process where a person's identity fades as group dynamics take over and begin to influence the person's behavior. Also, pause for a moment and realize the word is deindividuation, not deindividuation. It's as though the word itself succumbed to the pressure of a group of abbreviated slang terms and so dropped a few letters. Okay, so the cool kids wouldn't say any of those last two words, but I hope you get the joke buried in there somewhere, and if you're not laughing, you're wrong. It was kind of funny. De-individuation is what causes a generally rational and non-confrontational person to become a terrible, rude reference point for when parents and lawmakers tell us online multiplayer video games like League of Legends and Call of Duty are turning our kids bad. This happens in two ways. One, reduced social accountability, or the "you can't see me" effect. Two, reduced self-monitoring, or the "I can't see me" effect. Reduced social accountability in terms of online multiplayer games boils down to anonymity. As Jamie Madigan says in his book, Getting Gamers, The Psychology of Video Games and Their Impact on the People Who Play Them, from which the idea for this video and much of its research comes, says, we feel reduced accountability from those around us because we're in a group, because we're anonymous, and because there are unlikely to be repercussions for our misdeeds. Additionally contributing to reduced social accountability is the transience of our connections with other players, meaning we're only interacting with our team members and our enemies temporarily. In 2010, Blizzard, the company behind World of Warcraft, a huge MMO, massive, if you will, tried curbing this effect by requiring users to use their real names rather than made-up screen names. The idea being that if users no longer had the ability to hide behind fake names, they would feel more accountable to their actions. Players were very unhappy, and Blizzard changed course just 3 days later. In 2013, Google tried the same thing with YouTube commenters. That policy lasted a much longer, but still ultimately temporary, 8 months. Eat a wiener offline, Caleb. Oh, wait, I got a call. Hi, Grandma. Oh yeah, of course, we're definitely stalling for dinner tonight. I wouldn't miss it. All right, I love you. Bye. How's that wiener taste? Reduced self-monitoring, the "I can't see me" effect, is in my opinion much more interesting than the "you can't see me" effect. This is when a person adopts the motivations of a group as justification for her own actions. The "everyone else is doing it, so it must make sense" mentality. Competitive games are perhaps the most obvious example here. When playing on a team against other teams, it becomes very easy to foster hatred for all teams that aren't yours. Edible wieners for all our enemies, right, team? Probably the most well-known study involving reduced self-monitoring is Philip Zimbardo's Stanford Prison Experiment, where college students played as guards and inmates in a mock prison set. The idea, in short, was to see how each student would adapt to their roles. Very quickly, the guards began to abuse the inmates, and the inmates accepted the abuse. The experiment was abandoned within 6 days. And the whole thing is documented in this book right over here, The Lucifer Effect. It's a really good book. So how has knowledge of reduced social accountability and reduced self-monitoring affected how video games are designed? The player behavior team at Riot Games, creators of the incredibly popular League of Legends game, implemented a series of changes to positively curb the effects of reduced social accountability and reduced self-monitoring. It's very interesting. Some examples are players were granted the option to mute obnoxious players on the other team. I can't believe you wieners muted me. Another example, Riot Games introduced priming messages on loading screens designed to prime positive behavior. For example, one message read, "Teammates perform worse if you harass them after a mistake." I won't need to harass you if you stop making mistakes. Riot Games also looked at team composition. They found that if at least one pair of friends were members of the same team, it had a positive impact on reports of toxic behavior. I have no friends. So it's our own human psychological makeup that allows us to become monsters when we play online multiplayer games. But humans are also capable of learning and reacting with intent. So next time you're playing games online, be nice. And don't take it personally when some rude player like Online Caleb over here tells you to eat a wiener. Hey, Offline Caleb? What? I'm sorry I told you to eat so many wieners. Really? Yeah, that wasn't nice. You're fat. I should have told you to eat diet wieners. He's a gem, isn't he? I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. That really helps get the message out about my videos. And subscribe too. That gets the message out about my fragile ego. And please see the description below for links to any of the books I mentioned, including these 2 books right here. Definitely check them out. They're very, very, very good. And why don't you give old Jamie Madigan a follow on Twitter as well. And go to his blog. I think it's called just The Psychology of Games, I believe. And it's basically a supplement to this very book right here. So maybe read a few blog posts on that, see if you like that kind of stuff. If so, definitely check out this book. It's awesome.